Hello and welcome to the Snackdown, sponsored by Walker's Crisps. And I'm excited to say that joining us this month is a national treasure. Bear in mind that it's not easy to become a national treasure. You have to first become a local treasure, then a regional treasure. But national treasure she is. It's Mira Sayal.
Oh, I thought you were going to introduce someone else.
No. Your modesty is a major requirement of being a national treasure. So Mira, we started out together, didn't we, back in the day? Didn't we? We were at the National Fair of one of our first, well, certainly one of my first jobs.
Yeah, Peer Gynt, that hilarious Norwegian play.
It was Peer Gynt. We had 15 weeks rehearsals.
Yes.
Do you remember? Yeah.
I spent most of it gutting fish. Do you remember?
That's right. There was pre-show activity.
Yes, and I was stupid enough to choose. I think I'll be a fisherwoman because that's authentic. Not knowing I'd have to do it for 15 weeks. I smelt a fish the entire time.
Yeah.
Not as bad as David's role though, which I think. Didn't that include being naked?
That was. I was naked. But actually, yeah, for 15 weeks of I was naked. That's right. It was very traumatic for the audience as well as myself. And yes, I did. In fact, I felt because it was in a mad scene, a sort of a madhouse, and I felt it would be more interesting to only be naked from the waist down because I was so committed to my art. But it was just a hideous mistake.
Yeah, not nice for the people coming up the stairs after you.
That was the terrible thing.
From the trapdoor in the stage,
That was the terrible thing.
What?
Yeah, you had to come up onto the stage from a trapdoor, and there was a very steep step ladder, so there wasn't a queue of people who wanted to go up the step ladder after me.
We've all felt we got to know David very, very well.
Yes.
Well, that's Mira Sayal. I'm also joined by someone who's well on her way to being a national treasure, I would say. It's actor, writer, comedian, and comedian, Katie Brown. Hello, Katie.
Hi, thank you. Yeah. Comedian, my very favourite word.
Yes, I bet you love that word. Yeah, we discussed this last month, actually. Did you hate being called a comedian?
I do kind of hate it. It feels a bit self-indulgent and sort of needlessly sort of picky to hate it, but it does produce quite a sort of visceral tightening.
It's a diminutive, though, isn't it?
I find that the kind of person that uses it is usually using it to sort of put me in my place a bit. So it's more like, it's not the word itself, it's more like the kind of people that like to use it. Mm-hmm. It's quite a
like me just then.
Yeah, like you just then.
Well, my third guest today is a stand-up whose claim to fame includes making me laugh at his act in the middle of Oxford Street. Someone had sent it to me, I was watching on my phone, he wasn't busking or anything. It's comedian Marlon Davis.
Hi.
Hey Marlon, how are you?
I'm good, I'm fine, yeah, I'm not up at Edinburgh. At this moment.
You're not up at Edinburgh?
Not up at Edinburgh.
That's good, because otherwise it would be some weird hologram that I'd be talking to.
Yeah, video link or something. But
Is it weird not to be in Edinburgh when all the comedians are there?
And comedians.
And the comedians?
Yeah, because I've been up there for the last 5 years.
The main thing is, I don't want you to think that you're just on this podcast because everyone else is up in Edinburgh. Because that is not the case.
Absolutely not, of course. I earned it.
Someone did send me your bit of YouTube, and it's really fun.
Thanks very
much. But I found out you said that you phoned me once for career advice.
Yeah. Years ago, it must be like 8 years ago. And I called you up and I said hi. And you went hi. And I went,
Okay, is that it?
That was it.
That was our conversation. But what worries me is that, I want to know if I tried to put you off like some sort of bitter man saying, I don't want any of these youngsters coming along.
It wasn't that at all. You just said, you're interested in doing comedy. And I was like... Yeah, like that. It was a lot of dead air.
Right, a lot of
dead air, and then you just said, all right, that's it then.
Okay.
And then you put down the phone, and then I thought, well, that's it. I'm a comedian now.
Great. Well, let's hope the podcast goes as well as that conversation clearly did. Okay. And it's been quite a month since our last podcast, or Vodcast, if you're watching on the YouTube. The Spaceship New Horizons did its fly past of Pluto, sending back some great photos. It took 10 years before we were finally able to see the photos, partly due to the enormous distance covered, and partly because Pluto couldn't decide what Instagram filter to use on each photo and whether its moon looked big in it. We also had a blue moon. That's 2 full moons in one calendar month. The blue moon occurs very infrequently, about once in a... God, I wish there was an expression for that. The blue moon was quite exciting to see if you're into that sort of thing, though scientists warned that it can leave you standing alone without a dream in your heart and without a love of your own. So watch out for that. And it was also revealed that people who consume spicy foods 6 or more times a week reduce their overall risk of death by 14%, unless they try to light the gas fire shortly afterwards. I just realised that I didn't write that knowing that you would be on this show, Mira.
Thank you very much. I feel vindicated.
Yeah. So,
I'm actually 84. tour.
You're actually, yeah. You look great on it. And yeah, the Edinburgh Festival began with more comics than the bottom row of a newsagent, as we've already found out. Marlon isn't there.
No.
Katie, have you been recently?
I've done the Edinburgh Festival as a comedian 4 times. But I haven't done it for a long time. But I am, and I sent my agent an email. The title was just "Hell Freezes Over," in the email. I'm thinking I might like to do Edinburgh again. I feel a weird hankering.
Oh,
so yeah, maybe.
I'd lie down and wait until that passes.
Okay. Do you think it might be something I ate?
Because it is weird, Marlon, isn't it? It's that sort of thing where you go up thinking, this is my year! Yeah. And then there's always a couple of little reviews or hints in the first week where you think, this truly is my year! And then it does, or maybe you've had wonderful experiences, Marlon.
It's always been good. I've always enjoyed myself up there.
Have you been up?
I don't do stand-up, so I've never been up as a stand-up, but my... I did a one-woman show my last year of uni, which I took up there, and from there I got my first ever job with an equity card. So Edinburgh was
amazing.
That was your year!
That was really my year.
Yeah, fantastic. Nice. All right, I've got some material to get through, so I better move on. Enjoyable chat. But now it's time to see what internet gold we've managed to mine from our internet fracking in Inside the Packet. So there was, first story is there was I don't know if you saw it, the lovely story of a great-grandmother from South Wales who finally got her bucket list wish to drive a tank for her 101st birthday. So what's on your bucket list then, Mira?
One of my bucket wish lists is to buy a bucket. I don't have one.
You don't have a bucket?
I don't have a bucket.
Well,
that should
there you
definitely be
are.
number one on the
Shouldn't
bucket
it?
list.
On a bucket list? Get the bucket.
Get the bucket.
That's
I
number
think.
one.
I have bowls. Plenty of bowls.
So when you use that, I mean, this is real inside stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, when
It's
you
an exclusive.
mop a floor,
Yes.
what would you use?
I use a bowl.
A
bowl?
Yes, it's a big bowl, and one could say it was a bowl like bucket.
It's borderline bucket.
Yes,
And what's
but
it
it's not
made of?
actually a bucket plastic.
Okay, well, fantastic insight there into Mirasal's life there, home life. This is why it's worth listening to this podcast, people. You get all the good goss here.
And did you know Balti means bucket?
Balti means bucket.
it
Okay.
is.
Is that the shape of the...
Yes.
To do with
yes.
the pan it's cooked
So I
in?
have a Balti too. I have a Balti
Okay.
pan.
Do you have a Balti list then?
I
Should we say?
I have a Balti list. It's to upsell down the Taj Mahal because that would be the most Baltiest thing I could do.
Yeah,
Right?
it's so Balti. She's just so Balti, that Mirasal. Do you have any? Anyone got any things that is on their bucket list?
The trouble is with bucket lists, my bucket list is so unrealistic that it might as well not exist. I mean, it's things like sort of win an Oscar. Or
Oh,
like
come on, love. That's possible.
meet Michael Jackson, which obviously isn't going to
That's
happen
less
now.
possible.
So I just sort of feel like I'm so demoralised by my own bucket list that I just prefer to ignore it. I once bet a friend at school very arrogantly, because I was an incredibly obnoxious person at school, as I'm sure you can imagine. I bet a friend in science £50 that I would win an Oscar by the time I was 40.
You've got time.
Time is running short.
Yeah, but your goalposts change. Because like when
That's
I
the
was
thing.
20, I thought I will definitely win an Oscar. That's
Yeah.
a given. I'm going to win one.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 30, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win a BAFTA. When I was 40, I'd really like a job. Really like a job.
Just a commission. Would just be really. It doesn't even have to turn into a show. Just a pilot script commission would be really lovely.
50 plus. I'd really like someone to know my name. That would be good when I'm walking down the street.
Even if it's your husband.
Yeah.
I do find the physical problems of being old difficult. I know that on December 17th, 2013 was the first time I bent down to pick something up and went,
Oh, really?
and I just
you remember the date?
I remember the date because I just thought, whoa, I've become someone who just whenever you and sitting down you go,
Are you making the noises?
I'm making the noises.
Yeah.
And when you stand up,
Yeah, with a bit with my knees engaged. Hey, cowboy! Oh, that's all right. It's just
as your knees
it just-
recalibrate.
What are you, Marlon? You got a bucket list?
Very opposite to bucket list because that's what people want to do. I'll do things that are opposite to that, to be fair.
Well, that people don't want to do.
Yeah, it was...
Well, you seek out things that you personally don't want to do
yeah,
either.
that's it.
Like what?
It's like for instance, I can't tie my shoelace.
You can't tie your shoelace.
I'm 32 and I don't want to learn.
So what happens to you got slip-ons all the time?
Yeah, Velcro.
No, I just tuck it in.
So you're like
Just tuck them in.
anti-bucket list is you're determined to never learn to tie your shoelaces.
That's right.
before you die.
That's right.
I see.
Okay, all right.
I
So
see.
that's a great one. So basically, everything that you know you've done already is fine for you.
Yeah.
You don't want anything else. It's like a sort of Benjamin Button bucket list. You've done it all. Yeah, you've done it all.
I haven't done it by now. I'm not interested.
Yeah. I get really envious of people who can ride bikes. I'm a cyclist. Who can ride bikes without their hands. You know, just I've never been able to do that. Simple things like the whistling, the whistling with your fingers in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I can do that.
Prove it.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
What I'm interested in though, David.
I can't do it. How do you learn to do it?
You have to practice.
I must
do it now.
We understand
I
you
don't want it.
want to learn. But I want to.
Isn't this more of a sort of a to-do list? When does a to-do list become a bucket list?
Oh,
When you're old.
yeah, true. But if I was able to whistle with my fingers in my mouth, it would be a major. It would be like you winning an Oscar. I would just feel incredibly good about myself. Yeah.
That's just practice.
Is it? Internet shopping's our next subject. And I want to talk about this because I saw this picture that went viral of a woman who bought what looked online like a very beautiful dress. And have you all seen the picture of it? Yeah, you've seen the picture of it. So it looks, I don't know, it's like a sort of year 6 project by kids who don't really know how many arms a person has made it out of cardboard. It's really good.
It looks like a paper airplane.
Yeah.
It does look like a
very cheap fabric.
Yeah. You're right. It's a
Cut
paper.
all wrong, darts in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's
Maybe that's just her, actually.
right. All right, don't get personal. Do you internet shop? Is that a big part of your life, Katie?
Yes, I do. I do internet shop. But I'm starting to see the value of real shops now because you don't have to wait. I suddenly had an epiphany the other day where I thought, well, I was sort of annoyed because I needed something that night. And I thought, I haven't got this thing that would go with this outfit that I want to wear. I thought, I'm going to have to order it and I'm not going to get it in time, obviously. And it was like I'd forgotten about real shops. I thought, hang on, there's a whole load of places where I could just go and get it like right now if I wanted.
Do you online shop? Online shopez-vous?
I would never buy clothes online.
No,
just
because you
wouldn't.
just don't, don't know if they're going to...
But you've got all of that sort of stuff, but then you also got people with the reviews.
Who reviews stuff? Who actually writes reviews? I
wrote a really blistering review on one of those restaurant review websites.
Did you have a horrible time?
It was unbelievable. I went into the kitchen and had like a stand-up row with the owner chef.
Wow.
He said, come into the kitchen. He said, if you want to cook your own food, come into the kitchen. I went, right. And I went into the kitchen and we had a massive stand-up row. I mean, I honestly thought he was going to hit me. I thought he was going to throw me out of the kitchen.
I've never lost my temper like that. I don't, this is getting away. I do not understand rowing.
Really?
Just,
At all?
Yeah, very bad at
Are
it.
you a passive-aggressive sulker?
I guess I am, yeah. I mean, the way you put it, that sounds negative. I was spinning myself as this hero who never gets into rows, and now I'm a passive-aggressive sulker.
Yeah, I think
How dare you?
What would you do then in that situation? If you were in a room that was meant to be a kind of celebratory dinner with 15 people and you saw every other person in the restaurant being served before
I'd
you...
moan.
You moan to the people around you?
Yeah, and then I'd go.
Way.
And then you'd leave.
That's
Yes.
so passive-aggressive.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not good what I do? I should have a row with people.
Sometimes it's quite healthy, I think, don't you?
But then maybe that's the same guys that do reviews. They write the reviews afterwards.
See, I understand
upset, they don't say
writing
anything.
angry reviews, but who are the people who are writing good reviews?
I don't really understand people who review clothes positively. They just go, this arrived, this jacket arrived, it looks really nice on me, I'm going to wear it with my nice black trousers. You just go, well,
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
good for you. I don't.
Do you buy stuff on...
I do, but then you have to take into account of, I don't know who these people are that's writing
the
reviews.
reviewers?
Yeah, I might not even like them. You know what I mean?
But the other thing that gets me about when you buy stuff online is that, and this is even if you don't buy stuff online, is the way they target ads at you. Like on Facebook, I seem to get a lot of ads now. I hope it's my age group for catheters. And I was like,
God.
what are you trying? Why? I don't know. I mean, it must be my age. I've never bought anything to do with urinary problems.
I've never had a catheter on.
Really?
No.
Oh my God!
Do you know what really winds me up? Is when you've bought something already And then for the next 3 weeks on things like newspaper websites or wherever, though the advert for that specific thing comes up over and over again. And you just want to go, don't advertise it to me because
I've
I've
already
bought
bought
it.
Yeah.
I don't want another
I'm not
one.
going to just buy another one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy another bed.
But I've never bought just to put it on top of the first one.
Don't be advertising me some duvets. Don't advertise me the same bed that I've just bought.
Yeah, the other clip that I saw this month that I really liked was it was a tube train or a subway somewhere in the world, and it had this woman and she was looking at something on her mobile phone and she just started laughing hysterically, and another woman started laughing at the fact that she was laughing, and then it just spread to the whole carriage. And I just thought, and it was really, and I was crying with laughter at it, even though I didn't know what the thing she was doing. No one knew what. And I just thought, how amazing laughter is. It felt quite like
it's contagious.
Yeah, it is contagious. I can't imagine that happening on the tube in London. I mean, a load of people tutting or going shh, maybe. But I mean, have you ever been in a situation where laughter has been out of control and we shouldn't have?
I used to do a sketch which was all based on this. I would come out dressed as a nun and I would start trying to say, I work at the local hospice. But get the giggles every time. I just couldn't get through the line, and I would get the giggles. And that was the sketch, that I couldn't say this thing that was meant to be very sincere, that I was meant to be doing a talk about my work, and I couldn't stop laughing. And if it went well, it really, I mean, it was astonishing how well it could
And
go.
it's just because that's that thing of they don't know what they're laughing at.
No,
It's just
me trying not to laugh while saying this line that's meant to be very serious and sincere and about something serious and good and earnest. And it was quite incredible the way it would work. And sort of 80% of the time it would work really well. But if it went badly, it went very badly.
Yeah.
And I remember in Edinburgh, I did it once and everyone was just very confused. Also, if someone came in late during it, it would kill it immediately. But I remember this one man just shouting out from the audience, "Oh, get it together, woman!" And it was just like, I can't break out. I've got nothing to say.
Yeah. Do you find in gigs that it's great? I mean, please God, people will always laugh at gigs that I do, but sometimes if there's one person with a particularly strong laugh, that can also be bad, because that can I remember someone with, I mean, I don't know if I can do an impression of a laugh, but it was quite like it was sort of
That's my laugh.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my laugh.
But it oh, there we are.
Yeah, that's what my laugh is. So if I'm in a comedy club
Yeah.
and I start laughing, the whole audience starts laughing again. So it's the same sort of
But there's a time where it's great you get the audience
But
laugh.
then-
There are times where it shifts. Once the audience starts noticing this laugh,
Yeah.
they stop listening to the jokes and they
Yeah.
start.
And you have to just start interacting with the laugh. don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
and,
yeah.
And sort of conversing with the laugh. And
Yeah.
that becomes, you have to throw all your jokes out and that becomes the rest of your set, really.
Just hoping that they stop laughing.
Yeah.
That's what you get. And I mean, if I'm not in a comedy club, I can just be in any sort of situation. I get told all the time, just don't laugh.
Really?
Because of your strong laugh.
Yeah.
There was a guy when I was a student back in the day, and he laughed in a sort of just one beat. But it was a very strong. It was like just don't catch him when he was eating, because it was literally like this. It was, that was it. Never developed from that.
That's quite amazing. Like a kind of perfect violent pellet of a laugh.
Yeah.
Everything out in one. Efficient.
Yeah.
I should think he's gone on to be
But
very successful.
But it would be like, do not tell him a joke when he's eating.
No.
Because you would get severely sprayed. Have you ever seen people laughing a lot on the tube? That's my attempt to link it back to talking about.
That's fantastic.
You think, yeah.
I have laughed on at things that people have texted me or put on Twitter a lot on the tube before, and it can get a bit embarrassing
Do you
and
get
awkward. Well, just kind of people just like, oh, pull yourself together.
Is that the most severe breach of tube etiquette?
What?
Is that
Squawky, screamy laughing?
Yeah.
No. The most severe breach is, I think, touching somebody inappropriately, but that aside, is singing pop songs together as a group, which is also something I remember teenage girls like to indulge in.
I had a terrible thing happen to me. It was worse for the other person involved in this anecdote, as you'll see, is that I had hay fever, so it was a few months ago, and I was suddenly ambushed by a sneeze. and in that way that you don't have a chance to get out a tissue or anything. But I thought, I'm on the tube, I don't want to spread germs, so I brought my hand up in front of my face too, so that it didn't spread. But the angle of my hand meant that it sort of ricocheted sideways to the person sat next to me. And then we were both incredibly British. She didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
no.
I wanted to say to her, it's just hay fever. It's not, but I basically, I might as well have turned my face right into her face and sneezed. And it was just like awful. What annoys you on the tube, Marlon?
People vomit.
Right. Controversial. Wow. You're really out there with that one. I think a lot of people would disagree with that. I sometimes get people coming up to me on the tube and saying, I like your work, or something. Or sometimes it's abusive, but often it's a compliment. And then it's awkward because you're
stuck.
Yeah.
And the journey's long.
Yeah.
I sometimes get people debating loudly in front of me about whether I am who I am or not.
Yes.
Like, it isn't. No, it is. This show is her, but why would she be on the tube? No, it
Yeah.
is. Look at her face.
Yeah.
No, but she's like looks different on telly. Like, and you just sort of think, I don't know what. Should I cut in?
I don't, yeah.
Or should I?
Yeah. I've had that where someone has actually walked over to me and put their finger on my shoulder and gone, this one! This one here!
I always like, are you that girl? I go, I don't know which girl.
Yeah.
If you could,
You are her, aren't you?
If you could
You're
confirm
her.
which girl, then I can let you know. I can help
Well,
you.
tragically, the other day, someone came up to me. Are you him? And I went, well, yeah. I'm an actor. Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah, well, I'm an actor. No, we're cousins. And it was just that sort of thing. Of like, oh, God. I was going, yes, I am. You may well recognise. No, we're cousins. All right. That's all we got time for. I'd like to thank Mirasael, Katie Brand, and Marlon Davis for wasting their time with me today. Also, Amanda Wilkie, Andrea Mann, Lucy Freeman, and Dan Shrimpton for their contributing brains. Please, may we leave the table now. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye.